Welcome to John, your daily sports report. Plunge into the sports world. We are a sports pipeline for breaking news, game recaps, and the hottest takes in the sports industry. So while taking care of business, let us flesh out the details and fill you in on what's happening. So take a seat, get comfortable, and make sure you have plenty of TP. I'm your host, John, and today we'll be talking about it's very early on, but so far, my NBA free agency winners and losers. All right, guys, let's start off first with the winners. My first winner is the Grizzlies. You re-signed Jaren Jackson Jr. Now, yes, you did lose Desmond Bane. That's a big loss. But you re-signed Jaren Jackson Jr., who's one of your key players. He's one of the best defensive players in the league. You have him still to pair with Ja, who, when he's healthy, we know how good this Grizzlies team is. That when Ja was healthy, the Grizzlies were the number 2 seed. So the Grizzlies are going to be good. And they also, I think, signed the best backup, and I would say arguably point guard on the market that's not a restricted free agent in Ty Jerome, who's now a legit backup to pair with Scottie Pippen Jr. when he comes off the bench, or if Scottie Pippen's starting, or to pair with Josh. You guys are always going to have a great point guard, shooting guard matchup with Ty Jerome. I really like Ty Jerome. He showed in the playoffs. He's an elite guy. He's been amazing with the Cavs behind a great point guard in Darius Garland. So he's been able to learn from an all-star caliber player. He's going to be learning from I think when Ja's healthy, he's an MVP caliber player. So when Ja is healthy, it's going to just elevate Ty Jerome. And this Grizzlies team, a lot of people are going to think that they're not doing great because, yeah, you lost Desmond Bane and Luke Kennard, but I don't hate it. I really like that they re-signed. It looks like they're trying to build. I like their draft with Colin Coward. I really like him. I think he's going to be a great player in this league. I think he's got a very similar rise to Jalen Williams he had a big rise in the combine stuff. I think he could be a very similar player to Jalen Williams-esque to pair with these Grizzlies, Desmond Bane's replacement. And, I really like the Grizzlies so far. And then next, it has to be the Rockets. I mean, you signed Dorian Finney-Smith, who's an elite 3-and-D player, and then you bring in Clint Capella, who comes back after a little stint Atlanta to pair with KD. I mean, the Rockets are going all in, and they're aware. You re-signed Jabari Smith and Fred VanVleet. It's been a great offseason for them. I don't know how it can get much better than this. I mean, they're going to be Oklahoma City Thunder. You guys better watch out because the Rockets are not playing around anymore. The win now move is now. They're in their window. You re-sign VanVleet, who's an aging guy. You sign Capella, who's an aging guy. You Finney-Smith, who's not young either. You bring in KD, a win now move. So they're a very young team. And then I think they have Amen Thompson. He is, I think, one of the best players in this league. You lose Dylan Brooks, but I'm willing to lose Dylan Brooks if that means I get KD, Capella, Finney-Smith, who basically fills in Dylan Brooks' role. Now, yes, I think Dylan Brooks has a very similar sort of, when he left the Grizzlies, you saw the fall off with them. I think Dylan Brooks could have that same effect on the Rockets here. I really do, but I want to see how they do with Dorian Finney-Smith. He's very similar in the play style, great 3-and-D guy, one of the best guys on the market. But another great 3-and-D guy. This is a perfect segue into my next team, the Atlanta Hawks. I mean, you basically do a sign and trade for Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and then you sign Luke Kennard. You get Porzingis. And this Hawks team could be, I think, a top 4, arguably a top 2 seed with their roster. I really think Nickeil Alexander-Walker is very similar. I like to relate him a lot to Drew Holiday when he was on the Bucks, or like I was talking about Dylan Brooks when he was on the Grizzlies. I think he brought that sort of intensity on defense that each of those teams needed. I think Dylan Brooks brought it with the Grizzlies. I think Drew Holiday brought it with the Bucks. And I think Nickeil Alexander-Walker brought it with the T-Wolves. And we'll see. I think he for 4 years, $62 million, I think is a steal. Now you have him to pair with Dyson Daniels, which is going to be just scary for teams to have that. And then Onyeka Okongwu and Porzingis in the paint. I mean, Jalen Johnson, like Trae Young, is the worst defender on this team, and he's not a terrible defender. I mean, the Hawks have had a great offseason with the draft night trades and everything. The Hawks are taking advantage of the Celtics being hurt with Tatum and having to ship off all of these guys in order to be able to still be a team and not go over the hard salary cap limit. And the Bucks waiving Dame but signing Miles Turner. That's a confusing move for me. I have more on that later, but yeah, I think the Hawks are going to be a top 4, top 2 team. I think is their peak in the East next year, just because of how many great additions they've made this offseason and how much they haven't really lost. They still have that very young, deep core that they need to be successful. And obviously you have Trae Young, who's one of the best pass-first point guards in this league. Now I got the losers, guys. First has to be the Kings. It's, what are you doing? You're giving Schroeder 3 years, $45 million, and that's your new big three, Schroeder, Levine, and DeRozan. You're going to be a 12 seed for forever. I mean, like, I just don't know. It's so confusing what the Kings are doing. You trade De'Aaron Fox, but then you trade for Zach LaVine. I don't understand it. It's like, are you guys trying to win or are you trying to lose? Because you still have Sabonis, you still have Fox, but then you sign Schroeder, and he's going to be your starting point guard. Schroeder's a great backup point guard. Schroeder's a great point guard to come off the bench. We saw this year when he was with the Pistons and Warriors. Great off the bench. He's not a great starting point guard in this league, and if you think he is, then you are wrong. I'm sorry, you're wrong. And then your other big signing is Drew Eubanks. Like, just a very weird offseason, and you could have spent that $45 million on someone like a Dorian Finney-Smith, who's actually cheaper than Dennis Schroeder. Like, the Rockets signed him for cheaper money, and the Kings give Schroeder $45 million. I don't really understand it. I don't understand what the Kings are trying to do. I didn't like when they fired Mike Brown. I don't like what they're doing right now, where you're having Levine, DeRozan, Sabonis, but then you sign Schroeder and you trade Fox. It's a very confusing thing, and then the Eubanks addition, I think, is just a definition of a mid-signing. Next has to be the Lakers, guys. You guys need a big man. You let Capella walk, and now they're being linked to Nick Richards, who's basically a little bit better version of Jackson Hayes. Sign someone, trade for someone. If your big signing this offseason is Jake LaRivia, and obviously getting LeBron back is big too, but you need a big man. We saw in the postseason, Luka and LeBron are great together. They are dynamic. They are elite. We knew they were going to be elite, but they need a solid center. And right now, you guys don't have that with Jackson Hayes. You need to try and sign someone. I mean, like, if they somehow land Nick Richards, that's better, but it's not a legit starting big man. You need a legit starting big man if you want to compete, because this is going to be LeBron's last year. This is going to be, I think, the last year the Lakers can really, really compete with LeBron and Luka, because I think with Luka, you got to kind of build around Luka again once LeBron leaves. So this is your last year for who knows how long it takes for you guys to build around Luka. And Rob Pelinka, what are you doing? You got to be on the phone. Call the Bulls. Get Vucevic. Get a real center. I'll take him. I'll give us what you want. The Bulls could have been wanting to trade Vucevic this whole, basically, past 2 years, and the Lakers need a big man. It's a perfect trade for the Lakers. Go get Vucevic. Get someone who you don't need to give up too much, instead of your big signing being Jake LaRivia, who averaged 7 points. That should not be your big signing this offseason. And then finally, guys, my biggest loser, I think, or maybe right next to the Lakers, has to be the Bucks. You sign Miles Turner. Great. Win now, move. Now you have a center to replace Brook Lopez, who left for the Clippers. But then literally minutes later, you waive Dame. Not only yes, I get Dame is hurt. I get that. But not only do you waive him, who's an elite point guard, who now has been linked to the Warriors, which Dame, Jimmy, and Steph Curry would be a whole nother topic that I can dig into another time. But you just made Giannis mad. And we saw that all over. Giannis is posting on Twitter that it's not fair, everything. So the Bucks have been trying to keep Giannis, trying to convince him to stay. And there were trade rumors this whole offseason. I think they're still going to be going on through the entire season. And now you just basically released his best friend. So I don't understand what the Bucks are trying to do. I don't know if you're trying to keep Giannis happy, if you're trying to contend. It's a confusing move. You waive Dame, and now you don't really have a legit point guard. So I'm looking that they'll maybe sign a point guard or something. But it's a very confusing offseason for the Bucks. It's a win now move, but you waive Dame. Like, I get the whole contract why you did it, but I try and trade him or do something. Like, the wave is just it doesn't make me feel good, and I'm not a Bucks fan. But if I'm a Bucks fan, I'm worried because not only is Dame gone, now Giannis is is going to be frustrated with the Bucs front office and has been for a while now. So if I'm a Bucs fan, I'm stressing right now. I'm a little worried with how this offseason has gone. But guys, that's all I have for today's episode of the John, your daily sports dump, where I gave you guys my winners and losers of the NBA free agency so far. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram for hot takes and sports updates in real time. And if you're looking for even more sports talk, check out the Sports Syllabus show, where my partner and I discuss the hottest topics in college sports and beyond. It's a two-ply discussion, strong, reliable, and always ready to clean up the messiest takes in sports. Join me next time on The John, where we'll be attracting flies with irresistible sports information. Until then, keep your game face on and stay regular. This is The John, signing off.
Don't nobody go in the bathroom for about 35, 45 minutes. Somebody open the window.